Thank you very much. You may be seated. Good morning and welcome to this joyous occasion. My name is Glenda Strauss. I'm the brand manager for the Institute for Open Learning, and I will be your MC this morning. And we have quite a panel here with us this morning. We have our registrar for the Institute for Open Learning, Pieter van Vieren. Mr. Registrar, could you please rise? Pieter van Vieren. Then we have the registrar for the Institute for IUM, that is Susan Kanjone. Then we have Professor Earl Taylor from IUM. Ilana Karlitz, Head Education, Institute for Open Learning. Dr. Frikkie Engelbrecht, he is our course developer. And then we have Hipa Morangi, he's our COO, ICT Learning. And Matt Ludik this morning, he is our pastor. So before we start off today's proceedings, I would like to welcome Pastor Matt Ludik to the stand to open the ceremony with us, for us with prayer and scripture.
Thank you. Good morning. It's a wonderful privilege this morning to be with you, and I think it's really wonderful to have the opportunity today to open an event like this, a joyous event with scripture and a prayer. It's wonderful to be able to be part of a country where we can still do this, and we thank God for that. I want to read something that comes from the Psalms. The Bible says in Psalm 139, verse 14, and then verse 17 and 18, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. How precious to me are your thoughts. How vast is the sum of them, O God. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of the sand. When I awake, I'm still with you. David writes the psalm, and he comes to this place where he says, how wonderfully and fearfully am I made, O God. And then he says something. He says it's God's work. Many times you and I might think, if someone says something like this, I'm wonderfully and fearfully made, it sounds arrogant. But what he does is, he says, it is because I am your work, because I'm your workmanship. That's why I'm wonderfully and fearfully made. But then he says something very interesting as well. He says, I know this full well, or like another translation will say, I know this all too good. I know that this is true. And that's part of our problem in our society today. We sometimes forget that we are wonderfully and fearfully made. As I stand here today, I look at people who are wonderfully and fearfully made by God. And you know what? I'm so blessed today to see people sitting here saying, you know what, the potential God gave me, I worked with this potential because I realized I'm wonderfully and fearfully made. You know, I always say this to people, that potential is only the start. Realizing, acknowledging that you have potential is only the start of the journey. If someone says to you that you have a lot of potential, it's not really as such just something that you can say, well, you listen to it and you feel good about it. You need to do something with it. What you need to realize today is you're sitting here because you made something of the potential that is within you. And I want to say this is only the start of the journey. You'll see them sitting here on stage today, people who continue learning, continue taking it forward, continue with their life saying, but there's potential within me. I want to do something with this. You know what? Every single one of us sitting here today, you're like a diamond field. What does that mean? Well, if you and I were to find a field full of diamonds, and we would be excited about that, we would see the potential in it. And what we would do is then put up a large board that says, you know what, there's a lot of potential in this field. And then we just put the board up and walk away, this notice board. That would be wrong. We need to work with that. We need to say, we need to go into that field and take the diamonds from the field. You're a diamond field today. God says, you are wonderfully and fearfully made. When He looks at you, He says, you need to work with what I've given you. And I want to commend you today for doing that. I want to commend you for realizing, like David realized, he says, I know this full well. When you look at yourself today, know this full well. You are wonderfully and fearfully created by God. Let's pray. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for the opportunity that we have this day to open this wonderful event, this joyous moment in people's lives with a prayer and something from your word, O God. Help us today to realize anew that we are wonderfully and fearfully made by God. You have placed within us potential. May you come, Lord God, and help us to excavate, to work, and to develop the potential that is within the diamond field of our lives. We speak today a blessing over every person in this place, and we open this proceedings today in the wonderful name of King Jesus. Amen.
That was so inspirational. Thank you so much, Pastor. You guys, how do you feel about his message that he gave to you this morning? Wonderful. Thank you very much. We feel blessed. All right, we're going to start off with proceedings for today. And I'm so excited for you graduates. I'm so very proud of all of you. And our DPPE students as well. I'm very excited. I have to allow our head for education to come and do the welcoming and all of that. Maar ek is te hastig. I just want to congratulate you all and say, wow, I'm so happy this day is finally here. I'm sure you feel the same way. We're going to welcome to the stage Mrs. Ilana Karlitz. She is the head of education for the Institute for Open Learning.
And good morning, everybody. Dr. Frike Engelbrag, Pastor Matt Ludik, Professor Earl Taylor, the Deputy Vice Chancellor from IOM, Ms. Kanyoni, Registrar IOM, invited guests, IOL staff, IOL tutors, family and friends, and most importantly, our graduates. Good morning and welcome to everybody here. It's really terrific today to stand here in front of the graduates. IOL has another graduation ceremony in the north next Friday, and in total about 200 students will graduate this year from IOL. And one of our programs that was introduced, the pre-primary, we have our first students who will also graduate in the diploma of pre-primary, of which we are very proud. Now, Master of Ceremonies, invited guests, tutors, family, friends, and graduates, it's a tremendous privilege to stand before you this morning. There's nothing that IOL enjoys more than celebrating great achievement. We hereby congratulate the IOL graduates of 2015 on your graduation from the largest distance institution in Namibia. Let's give our graduates a round of applause. What a special day and what a great accomplishment. IOL makes it possible for all students, including those with poor financial means, to achieve any of their educational dreams. The financial assistance and the course offerings allowed students a chance to succeed as a matter of course and not luck. When IOL took over from the Open Learning Group in 2005, there was approximately 2,500 students. In the last 10 years, IOL grew the student enrollment to over 50,000 students. Now, the Institute commits itself to excellent recognized educational programs, involvement with public and community educational activities, and becoming one of the foremost distance teaching education institutions in Namibia. And we take pride in announcing that more than 9,500 students have graduated from IOL. Now, this is an equally special day, of course, for the parents and the grandparents, the siblings, and other family members whose support made all this today possible for you graduates that sit here. And let's not forget, of course, the tutors and the IOL staff, support staff, those dedicated individuals who taught you, who often came up with interesting ways to share their knowledge and experience with you. IOL is tremendously proud of all the graduating students, but today We want to especially salute the graduates who have persevered, often under extremely difficult circumstances. Many students face difficult challenges such as financial difficulties, family problems, and even health problems, which makes it exceedingly difficult for them to succeed in their studies. However, passion for education and perseverance in the face of such challenges makes them ideal candidates for learning success. It takes a lot of perseverance and dedication to complete one's tertiary qualification, especially through distance mode. And I think you all can be witnesses of that. The utmost discipline and sacrifice is required. You have achieved a remarkable milestone in your life. Education is the key in achieving your personal life goals, but also the goals of the Namibian government. You are directly contributing to the attainment of Vision 2030. Students' success is realized with a positive spirit and determination to reach out and accomplish their fullest potential, thus doing well with their lives. Great responsibility comes with receiving an academic qualification. You carry the responsibility of educating and inspiring our future leaders. I urge you to nurture this responsibility with as much discipline and perseverance as you have shown in your attainment of your qualification. You can do it. Whatever you want out of life can be yours. Just hang in there and don't let anything stand in your way. Don't let the ways of the world cause you to strain from whatever goals you have for your life, even if those goals seem impossible to reach. On behalf of IOL, I wish to once more congratulate each and every one of you. We are really very, very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilana Karlitz. She's the head for the Institute for Open Learning. Let's give her a big round of applause. As I told you, she doesn't speak publicly normally, so she must be very, very, very proud of you guys to actually take this on today. Well done, Ilana. I'm super proud of you as well. Right, up next we have the welcoming address for IUM, that is Professor Earl Taylor. Professor Earl Taylor, could you please come?
Good morning. This is a graduation, not a funeral. You must be happy. As if you're happy, you show it. May I ask the graduands to stand, please? The graduands. Those who are about to graduate. Beautiful. Can we give them a hand? Thank you. Can I ask the parents and the spouses and the friends to stand to show your support? Let me see how many have come. Some of you don't have any parent. There are more graduates than parents and spouses. Thank you very much for the kind invitation. And I wish to also thank the CEO and her team for the wonderful cooperation, in fact, over 11 years of cooperation between IUM and IOL. We have come a far way, and we still have a lot more distance to travel. But it has been sometimes rough, but it has been fruitful. And one of the lessons that we learn during the process is that African saying, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And this is a lesson that I hope all of you who will be graduating today will take with you through your career. Tough time doesn't last. Tough people do. And there'll be times when you will be struggling. You'll have difficulty. The road ahead looks blurred. Tough people last. And through life, this should be one of the lessons you learned from the IOM and the IOL cooperation. Let me recognize the protocol that has been established already by the Director of Ceremony. And let me also recognize any special persons. I see the CEO, I see the registrars, and I see many parents. I want to welcome you all. And in welcoming you, I'm going to particularly welcome the IOM graduates who will be graduates in a few minutes' time. You will have your hood changed from graduate to graduate. That time you are graduated. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the choice you've made to choose and to stick to education is a choice that is well made. It is the choice for those who want to move ahead. There are many in our society today who are moving ahead, not through education. That's okay. But they find that they still need to go back to education, even with the wealth that they have created or developed. So education is a must if you're going to be contributing to the society and contributing to your own development and to be comfortable with yourself. One of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates, said that if he had to live his life over, he would do the same thing as he did. But he recognized that education is the key, and so he has accepted several numbers of doctorates to compensate for the education which he never had. That recognizes the value of education. I'm having great difficulty today because I left my glasses in the car. So if I take a little time, please forgive. I would like to welcome all graduates to this IOL 2015 graduation ceremony. Their parents, spouses, family, friends, as well as faculty and staff that have helped to mold you for this occasion and event. This moment is for all of you, graduates, parents, spouses, because together you stuck the course, and together you have arrived at this day. So let me once again congratulate you for persistence despite the many obstacles and distractions and attractions. You have made it to this day. So this is your defining moment. As you graduate, more burden will be placed on you because you have received education and some skills. And society, your parents, your spouses are expecting to see tangible evidence of that training and education. And that means you are going to be asked to show evidence that this investment is working. You have to show results. So one of the messages that you must take back, and remember that the investment you make in education should produce results. Results are what make you assets. If you are not contributing, then you are not an asset. Those of you who have done some accounting know that there are two sides to the balance sheet: liabilities and assets. Assets contribute to the bottom line, to the capacity to remain viable. If you do not use the education and skills that you have been given, then you are not contributing, either to yourself, to your family, or to the nation. So bear that in mind. Secondly, I want to say to you that, and want to welcome you as you move from IOL to a new university, the UOL, the University of Life. You are going to be challenged. The University of Life, unlike IOL, doesn't have defined admission criteria. Everybody is welcome. IOL has strict admission criteria. You must have so many points. You must be in attendance so much percentage of the time. You must be diligent in the response, giving your papers and assignments, and so on. Your admission criteria says you must have certain conditions to enter the IOL. This university to which I'm welcoming you, the University of Life, UOL, doesn't have those criteria, but it has progression criteria. For you to succeed, you must satisfy the progression criteria. For you to do well in your career, you must progress. And so you have, and I'm going to identify 7 progression criteria that you will be required to comply with if you're going to succeed in your various careers. The first one is honesty. You have to be honest, to be a professional. And it doesn't matter where you work, or you do it with professionalism, with integrity, honesty. It is the foundation of integrity. And our society today is plagued by people who have become rich overnight through means that do not justify integrity. You need to avoid those because it is not sustainable. So the first progression criteria for the University of Life is honesty. The second one is a positive work attitude. The positive work attitude is important because it gives you the ability to motivate yourself. Internal motivation. That is the highest level of motivation when it comes from you. That means it will sustain you. The external conditions can change, but that internal engine, if it is properly oiled, it will sustain you in your career and in your career development. The third one I want to say to you that will enable you to progress is you must be purpose-driven. Purpose-driven. And that means you will always have focus. And that focus will lead you to results. Purpose-driven. There will be so many distractions and attractions that want to take you off course. Sometimes you may give a little bit, but never lose focus. Your mission, what it is you want to be and to become. So remember, purpose-driven. The fourth one I want to tell you for you to progress is you must give cooperation and be a team player. The world cannot exist as a safe, harmonious place if we do not cooperate. We have to cooperate with our families, our children, our siblings, our communities, our organizations, and our country's laws and policies and programs. And we have to comply. And we have to be members of the team. We are all members of a team. We are all family with a purpose. And if we cooperate, there are times when we disagree, but we disagree with diligence, with the ability to forgive and to forget and to move on. So cooperation is important if you're going to be progressing in your work life and in your own circumstances. The fifth one I want to mention to you is forward-looking. You must be forward-looking. If you keep looking back, you will be distracted. If you keep looking back, you will miss some steps. You might even fall. Forward-looking, you're able to see and remain visible with the big picture. Where it is you want to go, where is it your organization is going, and be with it, and you will progress. Forward-looking. And last but not least, I will challenge you to be a critical thinker. To be critical thinker, to self-assess. When we learn, we only learn because we recognize that we could do something better. We could get something more out of our effort. So critical thinking allows us to look at ourselves. Every one of us has a dark side. The dark side, as many have said, Joel, T.S. Eliot, even Socrates have identified that our dark side are sometimes the side that hold us back. Because we cannot see that side unless somebody tells us. Unless we self-assess, self-analyze. Look at yourself in the mirror. Ask a friend to tell you where you're weak on that side where you cannot see. Because that's a side that will hold you back. And many of our society today are struggling and suffering because they fail to recognize the dark side. The greed, the selfishness, the egos that push us into materialism, that push us to not care for our fellow human beings. The dark side that we are so preoccupied with ourselves, we fail to see what is preventing us from being the best we can be. So I ask you, as you go through your journey, and remember, this is not the end, this is only the beginning, because the University of Life has many courses left for you. University of Life is open-ended. The future depends on you. Where you go and what you become depends on you, on how you progress from step to step. And so I challenge you today as graduates, as future leaders and managers and workforce of this country and of Africa, to remember these progression criteria as you enter the university. As you leave IOL, you are going to another university, a much broader university without walls and doors. And there, you're not going to be treated the same way as IOL. There's nobody who has your interest. They're looking at their own interest. And so you have to forge a way to build relationship, to cooperate, and that's how you will progress. So let me once again welcome you to this university, this new university, and to hope that your journey will be pleasant and that your success is assured. Thank you very much.
All right, that was Professor Al Taylor. Can we give him a big hand, please? Delivering our keynote address this morning is Dr. Frikkie Engelbrecht. Now, I asked him, what can I say about him before he starts to deliver his address this morning? And he said, I must tell you guys that hy van visvang hou. Hy hou van visvang. He likes to fish. So, Frikkie was actually, he was a teacher for 5 years and a lecturer for more than 30 years at the University of Namibia. And Frikkie is also an expert at the moment, or the expert, developing our education qualifications. So he is an expert in curriculum development. Can I put it that way, expert? You are a doctor in the field anyway. So here he is, Dr. Frikkie Engelbrecht, our keynote address deliverer today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry that you will have to listen to just another speech. I think if you could do it for 7 minutes, then I will stick to that. Master of Ceremony, please allow me to acknowledge the presence of the Head of Education of IOL, Ms. Ilana Kalitz, the Registrar of IOL, Mr. Pieter van Vuren, other IOL management staff, staff of IUM, and Pastor Matt Ludik, honored guests, graduates, their families and friends, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an educator, and I think it is really a privilege if you are an educator and you end up in this kind of situation where you see the manpower of Namibia expanding in quantity and in quality. Isn't that what we need and what we want for our country? So it is indeed a joyous occasion that we would like to celebrate with you. As mentioned by other speakers, I have been a distance education student myself at some stage of my life. And I still remember my 2-year-old daughter sitting on my lap, and I am studying for the B.Ed honors through UNISA. over her shoulder, while she is drawing pictures on the bottom side of the page. I am studying the top side of the page. And then we change pages. So I know what it takes to be a distance education student and end up sitting here and say, I have done it. I am here. I made it. You will agree today, I think, with Confucius, our Chinese philosopher. He said, the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Now, we also got an African proverb that says, a patient man will eat ripe fruit. So you can see I am begging you to be patient. I understand that you are really burning to get to the point where you receive your qualification, which is a key to a wonderful new world, opening up new experiences. And we will get there in just a short while. So let me explore quickly, shortly, briefly. My topic for today is how to become a personal leader. And I will just look at a definition of a personal leader and then a few characteristics of a personal leader. And you see, it's a topic that is really of significance for you today. Not just for the graduates, but for parents and grandparents, everybody. Celebrating this success of the new generation in studying, in growing. Because this is what education is all about, isn't it? It is not about receiving a paper that says, I have a certificate, a diploma, a degree. Education is about growing. Growing spiritually, growing intellectually, growing emotionally, the three main important areas that we gotta grow in. And until we die, we are supposed to grow and grow until we become decent human beings. And if I may add that, godly beings. So let's see what there is for you. You've taken the first step in getting to a qualification. And now the next doors are opening up on the ladder of growing. And something to catch that is you can become a personal leader. That should be your aim in life. You could become a personal leader. Now we all know about the Mandelas, the political leaders and the financial leaders and church leaders and world leaders. And the personal leader is actually a new concept on the field of leadership. Until now, we have ignored the individual that is just a leader, not necessarily of a major organization or a country. But we as people, as individuals, as mother, as father, as brother and sister, as teacher, as parent, as friend, we are actually supposed to be growing to become personal leaders so that we can be a blessing to the nation, to the family, and to others. So what is a personal leader? A leader is, as you know, without going into all the fancy academic definitions of leadership, this is not the place for that. A personal leader is someone who intentionally follows a process of influencing people's thinking, attitudes, and behavior positively. All right? In short, a personal leader is someone who influences others' thinking, attitudes, and behavior. And that's that's in the reach of every person. We can do that. So the question is, well, what will be the characteristics of a personal leader so that we can know when do I qualify to be seen, to be viewed as a personal leader? Wherever you are, wherever you work, wherever you are as your home is, when will people see me as a personal leader? That's the question that we got to answer. So I'm going to cut it short, as I promised. I'm not going to go through all the points that I've made on my notes. I'm just going to select a few so that you get an idea. There is kind of 4 categories that we could look at if we will answer this question of, well, when will people see me as a personal leader? And the first category is what we call the heart category. Now, the heart category is basically, the most important part of that is our spiritual. It's our spiritual being. That's part of the heart category. Whether we like it or not, and whether we believe it or not, we know, most people will agree, that the spiritual dimension of our humanness is the highest dimension. Right? It's your highest dimension. That means that's the dimension that's supposed to give character to our lives, to give direction to our lives. That means if we live by values of humbleness and honesty and kindness and hard working, as was also mentioned, and serving others, that we are reliable and fair and trustworthy, then we live by the values of a spiritual dimension. If you do not choose to live by that kind of values, what happens? We live by a lower dimension. And then is then typical the psychological and the physical dimension, which are the other 2 dimensions that we are sort of consisting of. That means if we do not live by the values as the higher characterful dimensions of being a human, then we will unfortunately end up living on our instincts and our primitive motives. And then we see in so much everywhere in the world, even in Namibia, leaders that are living not to serve, but they are living to get, to take, to find, to get rich, to have power, to have status, chasing wealth and pleasure. And that's the downside if we live by the wrong dimension. So the heart dimension is one of the most important ones. I think Pastor Matt would love it if I add this and say, for Christians, of course, the most important part, heart characteristic, would be that people live with a close relationship with God and obey His word. So, let me give you a final one on the heart thing. I think it is so important. If people are living in the spiritual reality by the values, then one of the things that we are supposed to do is to build other people up, boost them, help them, support them. You don't live for yourself. You live to give and help others. You will find it interesting to know that Henry Ford, I think everybody knows about Henry Ford, right? The guy who designed the first Ford car. Henry Ford, the creator, designer of the Model T Ford, was battling with creating a horse within the cart instead of having the horse in front of the cart. As the time, that was the transport mechanism, isn't it? The horse and the cart. And he came up with that idea, we should have a horse in the cart. A horse that can pull this wagon by its own. It's a wonderful concept. Hey, just imagine. And he started to design this model cart wagon thing that we call a car these days. And he battled, and he battled, and he talked to people and said, talk to me. What about, I'm trying to do this, what do you think? And it's actually strange, but people thought he was a bit crazy. You know, to have your horse in your car is just not a good idea. And he was telling them, well, I'm gonna design a gasoline engine, and that's the new horse, and it will take us everywhere faster and quicker and more comfortable. And some people, you know, they shut him down downright. And he was really at the end of his wits and almost at the point of giving up the idea of designing a gasoline-driven car. Then he met Thomas Edison, the light bulb guy. And Thomas Edison listened to Henry Ford about this idea of a gasoline car. And Thomas Edison was, you know, he was so excited. He said, that's a brilliant idea. Yes, do it, do it, do it. And it's actually that personal leadership of Thomas Edison that gave Henry Ford the courage to continue with the car that he was trying to design. And it was almost giving up on it because of the criticism. So I think that's a personal leadership thing that could give us great joy, isn't it? Now, even shorter, the next category of a personal leader, and that is the head-related characteristics that we could mention. And the three that I'm going to mention is, you know, if we grow up and we mature, the one thing that we got to face is to take up our responsibilities, isn't it? Wow, in school it was so lovely, you know, you think, oh, you carry the world on your shoulders just because you have to write tests and study for the exam. And when you get out of school, the place where you so wanted to be, to have fun, you discover, and now the dads and the grandfathers and mothers would nod their heads and say, you discover that to become an adult is actually a very, very tough job. You got to take responsibility for everything and a lot of things simultaneously. So if you want to become and seen as a personal leader, you got to take your responsibility seriously. You got to manage time and money and priorities and relationships all together. You got to think carefully about the decisions you make and the actions you take, because most of them, once it's done, you know, it's done. It's very difficult to take them back. And I think one last one on the head list, the head characteristics. It is to be careful to maintain positive thoughts, to have a positive mindset, and monitor the words we speak to others, because that's the place where the devil is normally getting in first in your head, you know, and sinking you by the words that we speak, positive or negatively. I'm going to leave that one there. A second last category is our hands characteristics, the hand category, see? The heart, the head, and the hand. Now, if you think people would like to see you as a personal leader, then they will appreciate you if you are productive. If you are productive, not wasting time, not wasting money, not wasting other resources. They will appreciate you if you are working for them and you do your daily job as best as you can, that you keep your promises, and that you participate in community activities that's worthwhile activities. And the final category is our habits category. Personal leaders should have powerful habits. positive habits. And the one thing, as our University of Life was mentioned by our previous speaker, the one thing that we should really stay in is to be a lifelong learner, because that's the growth thing, isn't it? As again, if we stop learning, we stop growing. If we stop growing, we fall behind the times. You miss your purpose on earth. You miss your fun. You might disagree with me at this stage, but if you ask the older ones on the stage, I think they will agree and say, do you know how much fun could you have? Intellectual fun. What is jokes sometimes? Good jokes are very much intellectual fun sometimes, isn't it? And to learn, to stay a lifelong learner is really a very important issue for us as a good habit. And of course, that learner should grow in all the areas that we've mentioned, the spiritual growth, the emotional growth, your thinking skills, thinking ability growth. It's just an enormous, powerful habit. You gotta learn, you gotta read, you gotta grow, you gotta look at things, whatever your learning style, you gotta grow. A second last characteristic of our habits, you gotta model, you gotta live the values that you live by. You gotta be courageous to live the values that's spiritual based. You got to be courageous sometimes, even if you are afraid, even if you think, the people is not going to like this. You got to be brave enough to speak about what is right. You got to have the right attitudes, the right communication behaviors, and so forth. As a final story, I would like to show you or tell you the following. One of the good habits that we should have is to plow back our knowledge, our skills, and our values into the next generation. That's kind of what institutions do, They take the good stuff, put it on paper, and give it to the next generation. Because we can't go back and discover the Henry Model T Ford all again. There's no time for that. We got to learn what the previous generation discovered, and the books are the way to do it. The electronics, the Kindles are the way to do it. Let me end with this. There was a teacher in America, it's actually a true story, Miss Thompson. And Miss Thompson was a 5th grader teacher. And in her class, there was a boy, Teddy. And Teddy was not very motivated to learn, and sometimes very moody, and sometimes very difficult, and kind of lonely, and pulled back and sit on his own. And towards that one Christmas, as the kids normally did, they brought Miss Thompson Christmas presents. And most of them wrapped in beautiful, festive Christmas paper, looking beautiful, And as the tradition was, Miss Thompson must open it there in class, and ooh and ah about the beautiful presents. And when she get one from Teddy, it was just wrapped in brown paper, like fish and chips paper. But she opened it, and out came a plain bracelet with some of the rhinestones in it missing, and a bottle of cheap perfume, only half full. That was Teddy's present to Miss Thompson. So Miss Thompson acted pleased, opened the perfume, dab on a bit of the perfume, smell it, say, oh, it smells so good. And when the kids left, Teddy came to her afterwards and said to her, the bracelet looks as beautiful on Miss Thompson as it did on his mother. And the perfume smells just like his mother did. It was his mother's stuff. So when Teddy left, Miss Thompson realized there's something wrong here. She rushed to the school files, found out that Teddy's mother died in grade 3 already. He's now in grade 5 in her class. And suddenly, she understood why this child is not performing. Oh, she wiped the tears from the eyes, and said, oh, now she understands. She will do this personal leadership thing and pick him up. So she did that. She gave him extra attention and hold him and hug him and support him and encourage him. Young and Teddy started to grow and bloom beautifully. Before long, Teddy was a good student and a happy kid. When Teddy graduated from high school, many years later, he wrote a letter to Miss Thompson to thank her for what she has done for him in the primary school. And 4 years after high school, Miss Thompson received another letter from Teddy, thanking her again for turning his life around, and said he was now graduating from college first in his class, and it's going well with his studies. He's studying for a doctor. Some years later, the final letter came from Teddy. He said he was now a practicing doctor, and he would like to invite Miss Thompson to his wedding to sit at the place where his mother would have been seated. The moral of the story is, we as personal leaders, you and I can be a Mr. or a Mrs. Thompson for a lot of people around us. And that is what we are supposed to do. In conclusion, Master of Ceremonies, personal leadership is not a given position in an organization. It's a status earned by living a value-based life as opposed to an instinctive lifestyle. Personal leaders do not just focus on doing their daily tasks as best as they can, but they focus on serving and building up other people. I hope you accept this challenge of becoming a personal leader that are the light and the salt for the people at home, at work and in the community. And that you will experience great joy in blessing others. Master of Ceremony, we started off with the African proverb that says, a patient man will eat ripe fruit. You've forgotten that one. Now, I think you have been very patient. I think our fruit is ripe now. Thank you.
Frikkie, your story made the Master of Ceremonies cry and the Head of Education for IOL. So it was a very sad story. It's a very inspiring story, and it's especially for you who will become teachers very important to treat children in that way. Okay, some of the students are also crying. Ach nee man, Frikkie, nee man. Almal huil nou hier vandag. Okay, let's get to the good part of the graduation ceremony, the happy part. We're going to start with the presentation of the diplomas and certificates, and then also the conferral of the degrees. This will be done by the registrar for the Institute for Open Learning, that is Pieter van Vieren, and then also the registrar for IUM, which is Mrs. Susan Kanjone. All right, we're going to start off with the ICDL and MET, that's our e-training courses. And we can start with those students. Can the course coordinators please assist quickly? Okay, Emilia, you just go through and shake the registrar's hand, please. Mr. Registrar, you can stand on the podium, please. All right, Dandago Kaingos? Not here. Maureen, could you please just hand me the envelopes of the people who are here? Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, Patricia Kampindu. Patricia. Congratulations. Unita Molakeng. Justice Ngilenga. Alina Nahuma. Teresia Lucas. Oh, careful. The heels and the gowns don't always go together so well. Congratulations. Auden Matengu Simasiku. Congratulations. Beata Hilokwa. Naimi Nakale. Congratulations, Naimi. Jürgen Milano Okheisen. Please note that Jürgen is also our top performer. He's one of the top performers for this year. Well done, Jürgen. Kavezembua Cheriko. Is it Kavezembua? Kavezembua. Congratulations. Sophia Singhi. Congratulations, Sophia. Christina Indongo. Congratulations, Christina. And finally, Alma Mbonge. Congratulations, Alma. That wraps it up for our ICDL students. Next to receive certificates are the Microsoft Electronic Training students. Microsoft Electronic Training students, can you come forward, please? Abel Kai Lungyu Kasale. Not here. Alma Mbonge. Alma? Alma has passed with distinction. You can come past, please, so we can see you. She has passed with a distinction. Well done, Alma. Presner Kandume. Okay, the rest of the MET students will be receiving their qualifications in the regions. So they are not here today, but well done. Well done to you, Alma. We're very proud of you. All right, up next, we're going to move on to the academic or education qualifications. The diploma in pre-primary education. Can you two ladies please come forward? Ilana, did you want to say something about these two?
A few years back, in 2011, 2011, end of 2011, beginning 2012, IOL introduced this new diploma in pre-primary education. And we are very proud. These two graduates are the first two graduating for the diploma in pre-primary education from the Institute of Open Learning. We are so very, very proud of you guys. Congratulations.
Well done, ladies, well done. All right, our first one is Karina Joseph. Could you go, please? Hand over your stole to the registrar. Well done, Karina. Karina Joseph. Right, and this next lady has passed with distinction, Jacqueline Kurtz, Diploma in Pre-Primary Education. We move on to the Advanced Certificate in Secondary Education. All right, Ms. Shipena N. Kavara. Thank you. She's majoring in history and in English, and she has completed her advanced certificate in secondary education. Mr. Heinrich Ricketts. Thank you. Mr. Heinrich Ricketts, ACSE, advanced certificate in secondary education, majoring in English and geography. Mr. Heinrich, I think you've left your qualification with me. Can I keep it? Can I keep it? Okay. All right, up next, Ms. Bona Mashenje. Ms. Brona Mashenje. Brona has also completed her ACSE, majoring in English and mathematics. Congratulations. Ms. Destamona Sheta Munisa. Ms. Destamona was majoring or is majoring in history and geography. Well done. Mr. Johannes J. Hanam. Mr. Johannes is a clever man. He is majoring in English and accounting. Well done. Vekendisa Shizepa. Shia? Vekendisa is majoring in English and geography. I'll keep it. I'd like to be a teacher too. Miss Florence Mbwede. Miss Florence is majoring in English and in history. Well done, Florence. Ms. Tekla Swartz, advanced certificate in secondary education. Ms. Tekla is majoring in English and in history. Well done, Tekla. All right, that would then conclude it for our advanced certificate in secondary education graduates. Let's give them a big round of applause. We move on to our advanced certificate in primary education. Okay, Maria Marenga. Can you come forward, please? Maria Marenga. Is it only her? Maria Marenga, advanced certificate in primary education. and she's majoring in English and social sciences. Let's give her a big hand. That's the only student here that's graduating here in Windhoek for the Advanced Certificate in Primary Education. I'd like to thank our registrar, and we'll call you back again in just a short while for the policing qualifications. In the meantime, I'd like to call to the stand Ms. Susan Kanjone. She is the registrar for IUM. We're going to start handing out the IUM qualifications now. This is Ms. Maria Kamia Eduna, and she's receiving a certificate in human resources. Welcome, Ms. Grace Karukua. She's receiving a certificate in business administration, and she's receiving a higher certificate in business administration as well. Mrs. Selma Shimutukeni. She's receiving an honors degree in human resources. Wow. Thank you. Cleopas Thomas, he's receiving a diploma in HR, human resources. Cleopas is very famous. Wow, Cleopas, you are so lucky. All right, next we have Monica Ndimwe-Nena, and Israel. She is receiving her qualification as well. Die kode onder. All right, next we have Chuma Kakambi receiving an honors degree in business administration. All right, this lady has been smiling the whole time in the crowd. It's fabulous if you're an MC and you have somebody like that in the crowd. You always look to that person. So Andeline Platt, I'm very proud of you. Higher diploma in business administration. Mr. Gordon Lafrens Dinaup, Human Resources Certificate and a Human Resources Higher Diploma. Thank you. This is Mrs. Jennifer Beatrix Judith Plaikis. She has many names. She's receiving her Finance Management Certificate. Well done, Judith. Jennifer Beatrix Judith Plaikis. She has many names. All right, up next we have Mrs. Miriam Caroline Meyer. She's receiving a Marketing Management Certificate. Miss Alvira Smith, she's receiving a Business Administration Certificate. Monica, Christina. HR. Okay. Honors degree HR goes to Miss Christina Jazu Kuka.
That concludes our IUM qualifications. Thank you very much to the IUM registrar. We'd like to call back our registrar again, the IOL registrar, Peter van Vieren, to hand out the policing qualifications, please. Okay, Vaino Shayende. Congratulations, Vaino. Certificate in Policing. Erastus Shipandeni Hamukoto. Thank you, Erastus. He's receiving his policing certificate as well. Yes, Erastus? Erastus, do you want me to keep it so I can become a police officer now? All right, Tilenge Ndove. Mr. Tilenge looks like a real police officer. Ek raak sommer bang, so kwaai. Tilenge, here is your qualification. You're receiving the certificate in policing. Brigitte Vries. Brigitte, your certificate is this side, unless you want me to keep it. Albina Njimba. Thank you very much. And finally, Ialo Munjamina. Mujanima. Okay, there I got it right. Ialo. Congratulations, Ialo. Thank you very much and congratulations to all of you. That concludes our presentation of certificates, diplomas and the conferral of the degrees. Congratulations to all of you. All right, as with every qualification, there's always some of us who perform a little bit better than the others, some of us who perform a lot better than the others. And at the end of the day, I wasn't one of those students, one of those top 5 achievers. But these students are. And I'd like for Ilana to come forward, please, and present these gifts to the top 5 achievers. And yeah, Geraldine, can you just hand it over, please? Then I'd like to call them to the stage, our top 5 achievers. The first one is Alma Mbonge for MET, Microsoft Electronic Training. Alma Mbonge, well done to you. Our second one is Jacqueline Quirtz. They're each getting a cell phone, hey, as an extra gift. Jacqueline Quirtz for DPPE, well done, Jacqueline. Then for ICDL, that's your International Computer Driving License, is Jürgen Milano Ockhuizen. Congratulations. All right, you received something very... What did she receive, Ilana? A tablet. Okay, lucky lady. Okay, Jürgen Milano Ockhuizen, he's for ICDL. Congratulations, Jürgen. Eustace Limbo Lusulo for IUM. Eustace? Oh, Eustace is not here. Eustace is in Katima, but he will be receiving his gift. And then Lennox Shakanda for policing. Is Lennox here? Also in the regions. Well done. Those are our top five top achievers. All right, then the next item on our program is, I've sort of let Hipa down this morning. He is our COO ICT training, and I told him this morning that he's going to be on stage and he's going to do a vote of thanks. So Hipa's not very happy with me, but I'm sure he's very happy to say thank you to everybody who made this event possible. Hipa Murangi.
Thank you, Glenda. I am happy with you because today I managed to do the vote of thanks myself. Where do I start? I'm left last because I talked too much. But Professor had me on my toes there, and I'm sitting next to this lady who is Lana, and she's crying, and I'm saying, I'm not going to cry, I'm a man. So where do I start? I want to quickly tell you a story about decision making, because many of us here, those that are single, there will be a lot of attractions coming your way starting today, because now you have degrees and you have certificates, you know, so there is possibilities. I want to tell you a story about a cousin of mine, but he's in his late 60s today, but he has always been on the farm, farming. And within our area, there were other farmers. There is another farmer, but a white farmer, a boer. A boer tells him, ach man, ek is nou klaar. Ga my huis verkoop, ek gaan see toe. So, my plus. So then he thinks, but what am I actually doing? Believe me, he had about 600 head of cattle. Those of us that are farming, you'll understand that that's quite a lot. I thought he is rich. So he sold half of his cattle, and in the process he also met a lady. This is where we want to come to decision making. And when he met this lady, he came to the city, came to Windhoek, he bought himself a 1-point-something million house, cash. And after a few months, he decided, well, I am getting older, not gonna get any younger. I have achieved quite a lot of things in life. Let me settle down with this lady. She's beautiful and successful. So they got married. After a few years, this gentleman has really been staying on his own, you know, for quite a long time. So it didn't work quite well with him. And he thought, I think I'm gonna get a divorce. But the divorce is not so easy when you make decisions, you know. It's things really, there are a lot of consequences when you're getting divorced. I've never been married. I would want to get married one day, but I will know what decisions I will make then. So what happens to the gentleman is he decides, I'm gonna sell my house and I'm gonna go back on the farm and continue with my life as it was. And I'm gonna sell some of the shares that I bought in the companies and stuff like that. And so the divorce process started. And the wife and him were not really on talking terms anymore. So when they divorced, they were going to court very often. And on this final day of the divorce, the judgment was called that the divorce will take place. The house will be sold, and the wife will get 50%. And to these court sessions, he was taking his son to translate for him because he could not understand English. So then they told him, the house will be sold, the car will be sold, the wife will get 50% of the cattle on the farm. And he's anxious, he's asking, what are they saying? And the guy says, Papa, the house will be sold, the cattle will be sold, some of the things will go to Kahu. I love my wife, I love Kahu. So when you do make your decisions, know that sometimes there will be consequences, and it all starts with you guys today. So what I've prepared to you guys, it is really with pleasure that I'm standing here in front of you to say my thanks for all the talents on display. We believe that graduation is not the end, but the new beginning. So that's where the University of Life comes in. Wishing you luck. Your goals and aspirations will have no boundaries moving forward. So, as you move onwards to higher grounds, our head of education, Ilana Kalitz, spoke with inspiration. Mr. Frekkie Engelbreg, wat se Mr. sien ek nou op hierdie program? This is Dr. Frekkie Engelbreg. For you, we have only admiration. Your address to the graduates about personal leadership and your words of wisdom will forever fill their cups. I also have to thank our colleagues from IUM. Thanks also to our course coordinators from the Institute of Open Learning for taking time to be here and your dedication to our students. Our students are the most important stakeholder at IOL. And I am certain to all that was said, they can relate. Let us not forget to thank the family and friends for their support. Both in academics and in our community, your dedication you have surely displayed. Our esteemed Master of Ceremonies, with a sense of humor that is sweeter than honey. That's what I have to say about her. She thought I was angry with her. Your support is comparable to none. Thanks to our pastor, Pastor Ludik, I am very much inspired. Thank you all for allowing me the time. May you all have the most enjoyable day. Blessings to you as you go along your way. Thank you very much.
I'm so proud of you, Ipa. So proud, hey? He did this thank you before, and it's just before we started, as I've told you. I unfortunately only told him this morning that he is on the program. So Ipa was caught off guard, but well done to you. Let's give him a big round of applause. All right, before we conclude our proceedings, Ipa, would you just assist me please in handing out these gifts to Pastor Matt Ludik? Thank you so much for being here today. I am personally very jealous of your gift. Thank you very much. Then to Doctor, please, Dr. Engelbrecht. Doctor, asseblief. Thank you very much. And then to Susan Kanjone, thank you so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure having you. As I've said, I'm extremely jealous, so I'll be visiting your homes this afternoon, and we can all snack together, okay? Thank you so much. All right, for that then, that concludes us for our ceremony for today. Congratulations once again to all of you. Super proud of you. The rest of you who were not here today, or the rest of the graduates, we will see them in Ongwe Diva next week, Friday, for that graduation. So we're very excited about that as well. And thank you for coming out. I'd like to say that our invited guests should please stay behind. Our graduates, you will each receive a gift and a drink outside, and then also the ones that didn't receive their qualifications will do so then outside from the course coordinators. So you can just move to that side of the hall. I'd like us all to stand up for the AU and National Anthem, and then the academic procession will leave the hall. And then I have David Nal to thank. So thank you so much. He was our DJ today. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Swenia, also my AE. You were amazing. I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, afhankelijk van jou.